Today we're looking at the compact Ford Maverick hybrid truck versus the mid-sized Toyota Tacoma. Whether you're looking to buy a sedan, hatchback, or even a pickup, you have to make some important decisions, aside from sticker price and budget. Recently, a 1998 Toyota Tacoma sold for over $17,000. We're talking about a 23-year-old truck with a manual transmission. The opening bid was only $6,000, but the final closing bid is a steal if you consider that Toyota trucks from the 90s are known for reliability. And plus, this truck unbelievably had only 64,000 miles on it. Expectations are that the auction winner may resell it for more than $20,000, which is impressive considering that the latest base model Tacoma is selling for just under $27,000. Today, the Toyota Tacoma is the taco supreme of mid-sized trucks. But did you know that it was way smaller when it was originally released? Back then, it was just a street taco. That was decades ago. And it was simply called the Toyota Pickup. It's like naming your dog Dog. But then, finally, Toyota did give it a name in 1995. In its early days, it was a compact truck, short and stout, but it was reliable. And since then, it's gained a reputation for durability. Nowadays, though, the Tacoma is a lot bigger. We're talking almost a foot taller, more than half a foot fatter, and 3 feet longer. It went off the beaten path and now plays in the mid-sized truck class, boasting serious off-road capability with the Tacoma TRD Pro Editions. So it's come a long way, literally. And while the Tacoma long left the compact truck arena, actually, compact seems to be making its way back. That's why Ford released the new Maverick. The Maverick is Ford's smallest pickup available. This compact truck shares the same unibody platform with the Bronco Sport SUV. So is it tough enough? Is it truck enough? The Maverick truck may be new, but its name isn't. Back in 1970, Ford had a compact rear-wheel drive 2-door sedan and later a 4-door sedan, which they named the Maverick. The name Maverick comes from a word for on-branded range animals. Back then, Ford's intent was to compete against Toyota and Datsun, especially after the Ford Falcon sales took a nosedive. But the Maverick didn't last long either, and Ford discontinued the sedan just a few years later in 1977. In more recent days, Ford reassigned the Maverick nameplate to their all-new compact hybrid truck. The Maverick is a different animal than its older brother, the full-size F-Series. Yet, after just 12 weeks, Ford already received 100,000 reservations for the new Maverick. To put that into perspective, the new Ford Bronco got more than double that amount in just 2 weeks alone. And that excludes the Bronco Sports numbers. In fact, it's so overwhelming that Ford spokesman said that some consumers may not receive their Bronco order for another year and a half. But back to the Maverick. It's not a bad start, especially considering it's a whole new player in the compact truck market. Guess which states most of these reservations come from? California, Texas, and Florida, the warm states. Evidently, LA and San Francisco Bay Area are the biggest fans, but it's not at all surprising, considering the Maverick's base price starts at just under $20,000. Here's an interesting twist. Ford isn't really aiming to compete with other truck buyers. Rather, they're targeting consumers who would otherwise buy a compact sedan or a hatchback. They want the convenience of a pickup truck, too. Most people may guess that a full-size truck has more power than a mid-size or compact truck. After all, logic says a larger truck means more room for a larger engine, larger tires, and so forth. But you shouldn't disregard or completely ignore the smaller classes. They're worth considering because did you know that some automakers include the same engine in all of their trucks? So truck size itself doesn't always reflect horsepower nor torque. Some smaller pickups offer impressive power and performance, so don't be deceived by size. Pretty much every heavy-duty truck ad mentions horsepower and torque. But believe it or not, some people assume that horsepower and torque are the same. They may not know the difference between the two or how it impacts truck performance. So let's talk a bit about it. By the way, did you know that the term horsepower originated from a Scottish inventor? This was James Watt. Back in 1776, he was working on a steam engine, which ran on coal. He improved engine performance and fuel economy, but he needed a way to convey how much better his engine was than his competitors. How else would you do that if you're living in an era when most people were still using horses? So, he explained his engine by comparing it to horse-driven machines like grain mills. It made sense to his customers because they could relate to it. Watt measured the output of his steam engine by comparing it to the power output of a standard workhorse. So how do you measure the power of a horse? We get imagine many different ways, but the method he used was a rope and pulley system. He saw that the load of an average horse could lift 1 foot high off the ground in 1 second, 550 pounds. And that's the standard he used to define 1 horsepower. In modern terms, we could also say 1 horsepower translates to approximately 746 watts. For sure, 550 pounds sounds like it's a lot, but consider this. A typical house garage door is half a horsepower, and there are others that are even 2 horsepower. Imagine 2 horses pulling to lift up your heavy-duty garage door. Horsepower and torque are related. Both express engine power, but in different ways. You use torque to calculate horsepower. Torque refers to the amount of rotational or twisting force that was applied to do some work. Torque is what you get your truck from 0 to 60 in seconds. With combustion engines, high torque means less delay between the driver pressing the accelerator pedal and the truck moving. You could say it's also what pushes you back into your seat as all the horses in your engine take off in a single rush. Torque is a function of many factors, including engine size, design, and operation. The more torque your truck has, the harder it can work to tow, haul, or climb steep grades. If towing and hauling is your primary need, then torque is one of the things you'll want to look at. Typical mainstream trucks can output some 100 to 400 pound-feet of torque. The truck engine generates torque when its pistons reciprocate up and down and cause the crankshaft to rotate continuously. The torque gets transferred to the transmission and drivetrain and ultimately to the spinning wheels. Truck makers advertise their power and torque so you can have the right expectations on truck performance, provided, of course, you can understand the difference. Let's see how it applies to Ford Mavericks and the Toyota Tacoma. The 2022 Ford Maverick comes standard as full electric hybrid. It comes with 2 engine options, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder full hybrid that outputs 191 horsepower and 155 pound-feet of torque. It also comes with a 2-liter EcoBoost engine, which is Ford's turbocharged inline-4 version, which generates 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. The Toyota Tacoma comes with a 2.7-liter 4-cylinder engine that outputs 159 horsepower and 180 pound-feet of torque, and a 3.5-liter V6 engine capable of 278 horsepower, 265 pound-feet of torque. As far as transmission is concerned, the Maverick Full Hybrid comes with a CVT transmission option. The EcoBoost option uses an 8-speed automatic. Believe it or not, the Tacoma still offers a manual transmission and a 6-speed automatic as an option. Let's talk about towing and payload capacity. It's no surprise that most full-size pickups have some of the top towing capacities available. Typically, we can expect at least 7,000 pounds and more. Mid-size pickup trucks can range anywhere between 2,000 to 7,000 pounds. The Maverick's maximum towing capability is 4,000 pounds if you choose the optional 4K tow package. It is, after all, a compact truck. Compare that to the Tacoma, which can tow 6,400 pounds, which means it's in the upper range of the mid-size class. That's actually a notable difference, 50% more in fact. But if your truck need is for general use, then how much your truck bed can carry is probably more important than towing. When it comes to cargo space and payload, obviously you can't fit more volume and weight in a full-size truck bed than in a mid-size or smaller truck. But believe it or not, the difference in payload between the two classes isn't extraordinary. Usually it's some 100 to 300 pounds. So unless you have a specific or unique need, a mid-sized truck can still carry a good decent amount of cargo. The Ford Maverick, which is considered compact, has a 4.5-foot bed and can carry a max load of 1,500 pounds, which is more than the Tacoma's 1,155 pounds. So the Maverick wins in terms of being able to carry more weight, about 20% more. Let's look at fuel economy. It's a no-brainer that truck size impacts fuel economy. Full size is simply larger and heavier. Extra weight means you need more power and fuel to perform. But mid-size means you have a little bit less truck. It weighs lighter, so it puts less stress on your truck mechanics, and you get better fuel economy. The Toyota Tacoma travels 18 miles per gallon in the city and 22 miles on a highway. The Ford Maverick Hybrid can travel 40 miles in the city and 33 miles on the highway. In general, Ford says the Maverick can travel up to 500 miles on a single tank of gas, all because of its hybrid technology. Right now, Toyota plans to offer hybrid version for all U.S. models by 2025, so we'll need to wait a few more years to see what that means for the Tacoma. But for now, the Maverick comes standard as a hybrid. So this begs the question, should we go for a hybrid like the Maverick or a conventional gasoline car like the Tacoma? Recently, hybrid vehicles have been gaining more popularity and are now among the best-selling on the market. Of course, there are pros and cons to each. Fundamentally, gas trucks have a lower sticker price, lower maintenance, better acceleration and speed, and better power. power. But on the downside, they offer less gas mileage and more emissions. Hybrids, on the other hand, offer higher mileage, cleaner energy, better resale value, but their maintenance can be higher. All in all, which should you choose between the Maverick and the Tacoma? If towing capacity is your priority, go with the Tacoma. If you need a daily pickup truck to drive to work and also use for weekend activities and want better gas mileage, then Maverick might work just fine. But now you tell me, which do you personally prefer between the two? The Ford Maverick or the Toyota Tacoma, and why? Please comment below and share your thoughts, stories, and opinions. If you enjoyed the video, like it and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your support.